I'm not feeling so good. Well, that's gonna change when this hat goes on. Yeah, I can't even look at this thing without smiling. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is my everlasting commitment to dressing up for Halloween for you, and we got another episode of What You Missed. There's quite a bit of video game news that you may have missed, so let's jump right into those stories. So, beginning with Destiny 2, there's a bug that sends Trials of the Nine offline for 2 weeks. I don't really have to go into this story because this happened many times over with Destiny 1. I'm shocked and surprised that Bungie had not figured out what had happened. Some types of emote glitching was able to get people through wall glitches and things like that. So this wasn't good, and Trials of the Nine is where you have to win a certain set of games in a row without losing to get an ultimate reward. It's not good to glitch and try and cheat to win at competitive games. I don't understand why people do it. Some people consider these things to be exploits, but basically, if you're... I look at it like chess, man. You know, you can't really bring anything from the outside in to win the game of chess and consider it your victory. Like, if someone comes and gives you advice with chess, you know, you're not really doing it yourself, are you? They are helping you. That's cheating. That's not good. It's the same thing with games that are competitive, like Overwatch or Destiny 2. You know, if you're versing someone with a team, you shouldn't be using some exploit to try and get through a wall to where you can get to a point where no one can hit you or shoot you through a wall. That's lame, man, and that's lame and pathetic. So apparently, just ready yourself, ladies and gentlemen. What I'm about to say is not going to surprise you, but at the same time will surprise you. Hearthstone Player has offended the entirety of the internet by waving his hand. Trigger. Can I get a triggered shake going here? There we go. That's better. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a real story. This is 2017. Apparently, this guy was versing a woman, a female, and for whatever reason, it set a lot of people off when he waved. Now, his excuse for waving is kind of silly, but he was relating it to poker and stuff like that, and it was related to poker. You know, when you're playing poker, you're playing Hearthstone, it's kind of like poker. I guess. I don't know, that's kind of a stretch. At the end of the day, did the guy flip people off? Did the guy do some very offensive gestures? No, not really. He just waved his hand. So I'm really shocked and surprised that people are offended at this, but at the same time, not really, because this is 2017, ladies and gentlemen. When you're versing someone on a computer PC game, if you do one of these right here, oh my god, you just entered the world. So yeah, there you go. There's the craziest story for the week there. And I thought Wolfenstein was gonna be it, but nope, this one outdid it. LEGO Dimensions is reportedly ending a year early. Toys to Life? More like Toys to Death. Anyways, with that terrible joke out of the way, Warner Brothers hasn't officially confirmed or denied the news from sources close to Eurogamer, but at the end of the day, I think we can all agree when you start seeing these Toys to Life showing up in stores like 5 and Below, that they're on their way out. And yes, I've seen these in 5 and Below. If they get to the point where they're in Dollar Tree, this series is in real trouble. I have a lot of Nintendo Switch news, so prepare yourself. Nintendo may be looking to extend the video recording time on the Nintendo Switch. This is not a surprise to me. I literally don't have to go into the story because, I mean, like, really? Okay? Over on PlayStation, you can record a long time. You can live stream. Over on Xbox One, you can record a long time. You can live stream. And here, with Nintendo Switch, now you can record clips, and I wouldn't be shocked if you wouldn't soon be able to live stream. Wait, no, that's not gonna happen because of Nintendo, but yeah, I'd be shocked if you wouldn't be able to record longer. With that said, again, Nintendo's just gonna take your money, so what's the point in recording a long clip? But I have another story here. Nintendo Switch 4.0.0 update supports wireless headphones now. You do need a USB converter to use them in handheld mode though, but basically you need to look at headsets that would support this product. There's a lot of technical specifications, so if you just have a wireless headset laying around, probably going to want to look and see the compatibility, if it's really going to work with the Nintendo Switch or not. But that's nice that they're adding support for stuff like this. And ending it with this, the Nintendo Switch was the top selling console in the US in September, which is really good. Again, it's not really a surprise who's buying the Xbox One and PS4 Pro or PS4 itself when the Nintendo Switch is the newest, hottest console. We have Mario Odyssey coming up. This is a really big game, so of course people are going to want to get it. It's going to basically be Mario 64. It's the Mario 64 of Nintendo Switch. So you'll see, man, I'm telling you, that's going to really sell consoles. I'm telling you, I promise you, man, Mario Odyssey is really going to make them go like hotcakes. And I can't wait. I'm very excited for that game as well. So it's not really a surprise that it's been in the top spot in the 5 out of the 7 months. So there you go. Pokemon Go's first Generation 3 Pokemon will be arriving this week in a Halloween event that's been confirmed. So to celebrate this Halloween themed week, there's going to be some ghost type Pokemon that first appeared in Generation 3 arriving in Pokemon Go, and that would be Sableye and Banette, and a few other ghost types. That's what they said that was discovered in the Hoenn region, which means Generation 3 is hot on the heels, coming soon. Last time when we were introduced to Generation 2, we got eggs that would hatch Generation 2 Pokemon, so this is kind of the same thing that they're going to be doing. Of course, the Halloween event's going to encompass quite a few other things as well. We've been through a Halloween event already with Pokemon Go, so you can kind of imagine what's going to happen, but if you want the full details, you can take the link in the description below. Now, on to Ultra Sun and Moon being the last Pokemon for the Nintendo 3DS. This is the core series itself. Quote, "We're really treating Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon as the culmination of our work with the 3DS system." Now, this was a big story, and a lot of people blew it out of proportion. Almost every single PokeTuber got that, "Oh my god, the last Pokemon ever on the Nintendo 3DS!" Blah! You know, okay, alright. I make fun and I poke fun, but it is kind of a really big thing. I already did a video on it. Again, it's kind of like playing with words though, because there's a Nintendo Switch. Again, this isn't the end of the series, and again, this isn't the end of Pokemon on handhelds, but the Nintendo Switch is a possible handheld that might be the backbone of handhelds for Nintendo from this point on. They're obviously going to get rid of the 3DS because the frame rate chugs, just put simply, in double battles on Sun and Moon, so they really do need a new, more powerful hardware system to do more with Pokemon. Again, I'm not saying that the games are bad, I'm just saying that the hardware is based on 2010, 2011 architecture, and they're competing with cell phones in the marketplace. I'm quite sure that Nintendo's next home-based console, solely home-based, will be the home-based console, and the Nintendo Switch will take over the handheld hybrid kind of market position, and they will start developing a lot more games for the Switch, and that will be considered the handheld 3DS kind of system. So there's my prediction, there's my thoughts. You can go ahead and add to them in the comments below or check out my previous video. So the Breath of the Wild looks 10 times better on the PC, if you ask me. You might be saying to yourself, "But Proto, how does one play the Breath of the Wild on the PC if it's on the Nintendo Switch?" Well, fine viewer, I'm glad you asked, because there's an emulation method known as CMU. So this is an emulator that you can use to emulate Wii U games, and if you know anything about the PC Master Race, they're very good at making games work very well on the PC. Now, Breath of the Wild is available for the Wii U, and a lot of people laugh at that version, but being emulated makes it a really, really nice version. Again, it's kind of similar with emulating the GameCube games on your PC. You can get them at 1080p, you can get them running at 60 FPS 1080p, where on the GameCube they were nowhere near that kind of fidelity and resolution. So the point is that it's really, really nice, but the biggest difference is that anytime I used to play Breath of the Wild, there's this white filter, man, this weird white haze that was always on, and I always noticed it and hated it. Well, CMU has a Clarity FX pack. This is Ultra Graphics FX that you can put on it, and it removes that filter and sharpens everything, so it looks even better than what it did on the Switch. If you thought it was gorgeous on the Switch, man, you really got to check out this video, Nintendo Switch versus PC Ultra Graphics Zelda Breath of the Wild. I'll leave a link in the description below, you can check it out, but there you go. And finally, I want to conclude on this story. What happened after 3 developers pirated their own games? So, the long story short here is that there were developers who made games, and they decided that instead of trying to use DRM to prevent people from buying their games and then releasing them in a pirated format, they decided to put their games out on websites very well known for piracy. Now, some of them changed the games to where the people in the game were wearing pirate costumes if they had the pirated version of the game, but you could still play the entire game. Now, this relates back to the big argument of piracy versus supporting the developer, and a lot of people would argue and say, well, you know, you shouldn't be pirating a game if you want the developer to keep making games, because they have to make a living too. They have to eat, they have to drink, stuff like that, you know, they got bills to pay. But there is an argument to be made that people may never be able to afford that game in their lifetime. I know people who can't afford a 3DS or a Nintendo Switch. What are they going to do? They will never experience that. They just can't. They don't have the money. So people sometimes pirate games because they don't have the money. Other times, a lot of people pirate games because they're just not sure if they want the game or not, and they don't really feel like going through the refund process. You know, I have to agree that it's great that you get a refund on Steam, but it's really arduous process to try and go through that. At the end of the day, a lot of these people who end up pirating these games or downloading them from the pirate websites said in emails to the developers, hey, I pirated your game, I'm real sorry, but I bought it and I wanted to support you, and I want to tell you that I would have never bought your game if I had not pirated it in the first place. I'm not a person who likes horror games. I'm not a person who likes the games that you develop, but I played it and I actually really like it, and so I paid for the game legitimately, and I wanted to let you know I supported you. And that came through in several emails from these developers. Now, their argument is that people are going to get the game no matter what happens. They're going to pirate it no matter what happens. And I agree, it really will happen that way. But at the end of the day, when they put it out on the platform themselves and put a pirated version out, that means less viruses, less malware, less potential for people to get screwed over and used and abused online just to play a video game. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I've always said it myself, if you offer something up for free, many people will go out of their way to support you for something for free versus when you're putting an admission price and a ticket cost on it, because that prevents everyone in the world from getting that game. Again, free advertising is better than no advertising. Having people playing your game is better than having only a few people playing your game that paid for your game. Just throwing it out there, man. There's quite a few arguments to be made in this discussion. Let me hear yours in the comments below. Now, that concludes this episode of What You Missed News. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm sure old Stitchy here from Lilo and Stitch really enjoyed being on my head. I got this at Goodwill for a few bucks, washed it up because good lord, I'd never stick it on my head without washing it first. I hope my commitment to dressing up every video for this Halloween has held you entertainment, and you'll like and share this video. Please let me know if you disliked it and tell me why with a constructive comment down below. I'll try my best to rectify any situation that has made you unhappy with this video. I've been your host, Protomario, and I'm signing out. As always, good gaming, God bless, and I hope to see you here next time. And thanks for watching.